back at the RV park today. Yesterday we worked on getting not quite half of the lateral filled in. Today I don't have any help, so it's kind of hard to plow by myself. So I'm going to go ahead and start digging a tank hole, see if I can't get some tanks set. Here's going to be the tank spot. I've got a grade stake over there, you probably can't see it, but we'll use that a little later. I can only dig one tank hole right now because we have to back the truck in here to set them. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to strip some topsoil off of this tank. I don't want to strip it all because I'm trying to keep it as least muddy as possible for getting trucks in and out. So I'm going to strip this topsoil. Here I figure out somewhere I'm going to throw it over out of the way. Maybe right back here for now. And then once I get that stripped and kind of get started digging, I'm going to put the laser on the Bobcat here, the reader, and get it all set up and start digging for the hole. So I'm just coming in here to strip the topsoil for now. And we'll start digging here in a little bit. Not sure how deep the topsoil is there. So I killed the original audio and just doing it by voiceover or narration because the camera location is not very good. It vibrates a lot and you can't hear it very good. I think it's mostly due to the case that it is in, but I'm not sure. So I worked on the microphone on the camera a little bit, and I've got a different case to hold the microphone, so I'm hoping that fixes it. So I'd already stripped the topsoil off, and now I'm starting to dig down for this first tank, and as you can see, I'm uncovering some more topsoil there. So apparently I want to save that. So I stopped, went over and stripped the rest of it out, and then came back to start digging again. You can see they got quite a bit of clay content there, even below that filler clay somebody's hauled in. I'm just throwing it all over here against this bank. That's the old lagoon that's going to get filled in with this dirt once they get it all pumped out and used. So that's going to make it close for them to refill it later on. There's a lot in that lagoon, so it's going to take quite a while. So this gets pretty rough digging, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to use my ripper. I brought it, and it works really good, but I hadn't planned on trying to use it because I was already set up for my depth and everything. Well, once I get broke through and get down where I'm using the laser, I'll get you back up. Alright, so I ended up having to use the ripper. Get through some rocks, crap. So I got down to where the laser will read. So a little bit of that. It reads the teeth. So like right there, it says I'm actually almost an inch too deep, so teeth are. Put them there. Not even half an inch, maybe half an inch. That reads pretty much right on. So that's just that. I'm going to put this over out of the way. I'm going to grab the stick, grade rod, and measure and make sure. I do have the machine set, I believe, 2 inches lower than the grade rod. Just figure in some rock and make sure I get enough depth. This thing can actually be a little bit lower. It doesn't hurt anything. The next two will have to match it, so that's where it gets a little more important. I just gotta make sure this is at least that low so I get proper flow. So here I go over there to get my grade stick. You can see what I'm talking about on this camera mount. I've got it on some extensions and it really just sucks, but I hate to waste the video, so we're going to use it. But there I am trying to find the laser. In this video you can tell I really don't have my stick very straight, so it's a good thing this part's not real critical. But I'm talking, I don't even know what I'm saying, but probably trying to explain that, I'm going to put a couple inches of rock in there to make it work out. That way the tank has something good to set on. And apparently I was happy with that. So now I'm coming to get back in, and we just want to remind everybody to subscribe and like our videos, and I'll get back to the live action. We'll continue digging with the laser on the machine, and we'll check back. Well, we got the hole finished dug. Just threw some rock off in there. Groundwater's still coming in. So I'm going to turn the laser back on. Turned it off a while ago. And get down in there and shovel and rake that gravel around. And get it graded out. We're supposed to have a tank come here on an hour or so. So I've gotten down in here, turned my laser on, and I'll just check grade around. See where we are. I have it set for what I was originally planning to do, which I think was like 2 inches of rock, but I dumped some rock off in there, and like I said before, this tank doesn't have to be exact there as long as it's where I had it set or a little bit lower. So as you can tell, I reset the laser a little bit lower. That way I could just use the amount of rock that I had in here and not have to get out of the hole,
get more rock because I'm running solo today. So that was my reasoning there. So I just keep checking around and seeing where I need to move the rock to and where I need to grade it to. And as mentioned before, this groundwater here, there's a lot, so there's definitely going to be some pumping involved in this job. Now I just thought I better make sure that my hole is big enough for my tank, so I was laying my stick each way and looking at the measurements to make sure it was going to fit. So I thought I don't want to get all this done and have to dig more out. I have done that before, tank not fit, and you got to dig a little, and that's not much fun. So anyways, I'll finish grading all this, raking this gravel around, and we will go from there. As you can see, our tank is now here. This is the first tank we're setting. There'll be a total of 7 tanks. There'll be 3 of these pump tanks, 2 treatment tanks, and 2 septic tanks. These tanks are 2,000 gallons each. Of the 3 pump tanks, this is the only tank that has actual pumps in it. The 3 tanks are tied together, top and bottom, to keep them evenly in water or affluent, and they will go up and down with each other. So as they all fill evenly, it gives you more storage, because we have to have 6,000 gallons of storage for this job because of the amount of daily flow. This is the only tank that actually has pumps in it. The pumps and the electronics, the floats, timers, things like that. So it's a little bit heavier than the other 2. This one, I believe they said, weighs 19,500 pounds. The 2 that don't have the pumps, they weigh 19,000. So that's pretty much the maximum for these trucks as far as legal weight to haul, plus lifting and stretching it out the back. You can tell the ground's a little soft. It actually sinks the outriggers in this video. But it worked out alright. We were able to get it in. Luckily my size, the hole was right on and everything. And as you can see here, you see those 2 outlets. That's for tying those tanks together, top and bottom. The bottom one, they say, is to keep the water level even in all 3 tanks. And the top one is to let the air transfer back and forth. That way they can breathe and they'll be able to let the water flow through without restriction. I don't know if you can see, there's that electrical panel on this end. The water is actually made to pump out the other end. So that's the reason I'm going to have him turn it the other way, because there's a tree on this side of the hole and I have to take that piping and go what would be to the left while looking at this. So I want the outlet on the other end. I get all my products for the septic systems, the tanks and piping and everything from Stewart Concrete Products out of Halfway, Missouri. They also have some other locations. I know they have one in Spokane, one in Lincoln, I believe, and then maybe one more. I'm not sure where it is. They sell a wide variety of things. They have your concrete septic tanks, your pump tanks, your treatment tanks, which we'll be setting a couple big treatment tanks a little bit later. They have all your piping you would need, your lateral filled piping. They have easy flow chambers. For those of you that know what that is, those are just alternative uses for laterals. Instead of using the pipe and gravel, you can use those things. They have all kinds of piping for plumbing, because this will be plumbed with some smaller pipe, like an inch and a quarter, I believe, along with the standard 4-inch stuff you usually use. They also have galvanized and plastic culverts. They have farm feeders, well houses. They have a wide variety of things. So if you need something like that, just look them up, Stewart Concrete Products. They're great people. I've had a lot of questions on this job, trying to make what the engineer designed and what we can actually do work out. Sometimes what you do on paper doesn't always work out in the job site. In this job, there was a lot of unknowns as far as where piping was from the park, because it's kind of a retrofit job. So it's been a lot of figuring things out as we go and going back and forth. And here we're just kind of making sure it's square and lined up where I need it to be so I can dig for my next tanks. And get her set down in there and look at it, and I'll go get the level here and see see if how level it is and make sure I did a good job grading on that gravel in the hole. Here we're just discussing if I want to move it a little or not. So I think we decided to move it a little bit, so he's going to pick it back up. You can see here with all that weight hanging out the back how close the back of that truck is to the ground now. That's because it smashed those outriggers into the softer ground. You can see it when he lets the pressure off of it. You can see how much the truck comes up. They have some plastic discs deals that you can put down to put their outriggers on. We didn't this time because we didn't think it was that soft. So I'll check it a few different places and make sure everything's level. That way we get the proper flow and it holds the amount of liquid it's supposed to. So everything seems to be good there. And he's just asking one more time to make sure it's where I want it. I'm pretty happy with it. So we're going to get the top unhooked, get it back on the truck. This is the first tank of many. I'm going to work on digging some other holes for the other 2 tanks for the rest of this day, and I believe that'll be in a later video. So hope you enjoyed the laying out this first hole and a little bit about the laser stuff, and talking about the septic tanks and trying to get them set. So continue to keep watching, keep up with this RV park job. It's a pretty big job, and I just want to remind you all to please subscribe and like, share our videos, and hope you get some enjoyment out of it. And until the next time, we will see you later.